Clovis has opened a new airport terminal. We'll have more information on what that means coming up.
New Mexico is set to freeze tonight. Keep on watching to see my full weather forecast.
Roosevelt County held a Democratic rally, and we have information on the upcoming election right now.
This is News 3 New Mexico, your local source for news, sports, and first weather.
Good evening and welcome to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Jonathan Giese.
And I'm Corbin Shaner. Thank you so much for watching.
The Blue Front Fire started yesterday in the Lincoln National Forest. This is the third forest fire in the region this year, following both the Blue 2 and Salt fires. While the cause of the Blue Front Fire is unknown at this time, efforts to suppress the fire have been administered, with the current strategy being suppression. Sustained winds of 25 miles an hour and gusts up to 50 miles an hour continued yesterday with unseasonably warm temperatures, and the wind speeds being a factor in the fire growth. It is now over 316 acres and 0% contained. At this time, there are no evacuations. However, homes in the Bonita Lake area have been put into the ready status. There will be more to come as this fire progresses.
U.S. Senator Ben Ray Lujan visited Roswell to see firsthand the extensive damage caused by the recent devastating flooding there. During his tour, Senator Lujan inspected local homes, businesses, and vital infrastructure damaged or destroyed by the floods that struck on October 19th and 20th. The floods resulted in the deaths of 2 residents and caused significant damages to hundreds of properties throughout Chaves County. During his visit, Senator Lujan, who has been an advocate for securing federal and aid following extreme weather events, met with local, state, and federal officials to discuss the disaster response and recovery efforts. Initial assessments by FEMA and state agencies estimate that up to 723 homes and 200 businesses suffered damages. Furthermore, the floods wreaked havoc on local government operations, washing away dozens of vehicles, damaging IT equipment, and inundating over 32 public buildings, leading to an estimated $51.9 million in damages to public facilities alone.
Construction is now underway on a $26 million new terminal at the Clovis Regional Airport. It follows a groundbreaking ceremony last night. Local, state, and federal leaders joined special guests U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich and U.S. Congresswoman Teresa Ledger Fernandez, who helped secure federal funding for the project. Clovis Mayor Mike Morris calls the new terminal a major milestone for the city as it grows its economy.
I mean, it's a $26.6 million investment in our community, in our quality of life, and an investment in our infrastructure. And it's really going to open up just a whole lot of opportunity, and we just couldn't be happier. It's going to have 2 gates, and so there's the possibility that we could add a carrier and add another flight. You know, our partners out at Cannon Air Force Base do a lot of training travel, and so they're going to want to use our airport even more with the new facility. With this new facility and the excellent flight service in and out, you know, we're already drawing on the region, but I think with an appropriately sized facility, we'll see even more emplanements out of Clovis Regional Airport.
An airport is what connects you to the rest of the world. What it means is that Clovis and eastern New Mexico is going to be connected to the world. They're going to do that by connecting to Denver and Dallas and then anywhere else that somebody needs to go.
Well, it's a direct, quick connection, right, to both Dallas and Denver. There's opportunity to grow here, and that just means there are that many more business deals that could potentially connect Clovis to the rest of the country's economy and really to the rest of the world's economy.
The new terminal is expected to be completed in 18 months.
With the election just days away, the Roosevelt County Democratic Party held a major rally to pump up Portales voters. Congresswoman Teresa Ledger Fernandez joined U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich to talk to a packed crowd at the Roosevelt County Democratic headquarters. She applauded the crowd, saying it's not easy being a Democrat in Portales or Clovis or anywhere else in a red eastern New Mexico. The political leaders adding how important the upcoming races are in New Mexico and across the country, stressing that every vote counts. They encouraged everyone to get the vote out with Election Day just around the corner.
Republicans across the state, including in eastern New Mexico, are outpacing Democrats at the polls of the last few days. Nella Dominici says it has to do with an upcoming visit to the land of enchantment by former President Donald Trump. The candidate running for senator against incumbent Barbara Heinrich says she believed the state will go red for Trump, and his Halloween stop in New Mexico is a big reason why. Trump is expected to hold a campaign rally tomorrow at noon in Albuquerque.
4 people have been arrested in connection with the death last week of a local man after he was beaten and shot in East Roswell. Last week on the 21st, Roswell police officers responded to the intersection on East 3rd Street and Orchard Avenue in the late evening and found Joseph Riley Russell lying on the ground where he had suffered a gunshot wound and several other injuries, and he later succumbed to the local hospital. Perry Garcia has been charged with second-degree murder. Cruzito Garcia Valenzuela and Robert Garcia Jr. have both been charged with tampering with evidence, and Teresa Carrillo is charged with both of those crimes and was believed to be the one who shot and killed the victim. The incident began over a disagreement about a vehicle. The weapon was found by the police.
This past Sunday, on October 27th in the early morning, the Clovis Police Department received multiple calls alerting they had heard up to 30 gunshots in the area of 900 block of Plaza Drive. Upon arrival, officers relayed they had multiple cars crashed and a male teen who had a gunshot wound to the chest. The 17-year-old was taken to the Plains Regional Medical Center where he was stabilized and transferred to a Lubbock, Texas area hospital. A woman also arrived at hospital from a gunshot wound in a personal vehicle with a gunshot to the face. Both of the mentioned people are in stable condition. At the time, there are no current arrests have been made. If anyone has any information, including video or social media postings, they are asked to contact the Clovis Police Department at 575-769-1921. And later that day in the afternoon, the Clovis Police Department received a call about a second shooting around the 700 block of South Sandoval. The caller reported that a neighbor had been shot and then transported to the Plains Regional Medical Center. The victim, Alejandra Reyna, was at home with Andrea Morales and the suspected shooter, 18-year-old Adriano Gallegos. Reyna was transported to the Regional Medical Center where he was treated and then transferred to Lubbock in critical condition. Deputies have obtained an arrest warrant for Adriano Gallegos, charging him with 1 count of aggravated battery, and any information about his whereabouts should be reported to the police. And you know, we're starting to get that freeze warning, and I want to know more about that.
Yeah, what can we expect right now?
Well, it's going to get cold, as you can imagine, with a freeze warning. But looking at that, we want to look at a little bit of precipitation that's going on in the United States as of right now. A little bit up towards Minneapolis and Chicago, moving down towards Dallas. A little bit going on in Denver, and up here towards Portland, going on down towards San Francisco. Because of the freeze warning, I wanted to go ahead and show the 24-hour temperatures we're expecting. Currently, we're sitting at 48 and 49 in Gallup and Farmington, and Portales at 65. Those temperatures will steadily drop down as we go through the night, even going down to 18 in Gallup on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. and 39 in Portales. They will come up, not very high in the 60s and 50s, and then drop once again going into the afternoon for tomorrow. So keep an eye out there with this freeze. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Lainey. Cannon Air Force Base is hosting a virtual information update meeting about PAFA's release incident as well as ongoing remediation efforts in coordination with the U.S. AF Civil Engineer Center. Cannon's restoration manager from AFCEC will be present to provide status updates and answer the public's PAFA's questions. The meeting is open to the public but must RSVP prior to receive access information. You must RSVP no later than 3 p.m. Tuesday, November 5th to attend the event. And to RSVP, you can email jocelyn.millette@us.afrmil.
Coming up after the break, Lainey will have her full weather report for you.
But first, here's a look at today's financial market.
Welcome back to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Lainey Carluck, here to take you through the weather. So as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, we're having a little bit of storms trying to move on around in the United States up towards Portland. Pretty bad one over here moving into Minneapolis and Chicago, so do be aware of that if you have anybody that lives around there, as they're going to be getting quite the rainstorm. Going into our beautiful, beautiful state, we really aren't getting much. It seems like some cloudiness and some storms trying to come in, but it's really not going to hit, it's looking like. Pretty dry overall, a little bit of cloudiness coming in towards eastern New Mexico over Roswell and Portales, but that's about all we'll be seeing these next few days. I do have some tips for freezing. You make sure to leave your pipes dripping tonight. That'll help them from freezing, as the water moving will keep it active, as well as making sure in the morning you let your car warm up. It may stutter in trying to drive as all the fluids will freeze. Our current temperatures for today are currently resting in 47 in Farmington and 48 in Gallup, with 57 in Albuquerque, going into 72 in Roswell, 64 in Portales, and 63 in Clovis. I don't know about y'all, but I am loving these cooler temperatures. Tonight's lows getting down into the 20s in Farmington and Gallup, with 28 in Farmington and 20 in Gallup. Santa Fe and Albuquerque in the 30s, with Santa Fe at 30 and Albuquerque at 37. Portales dropping into 41 and Clovis at 39, with Roswell staying at an even 43. Tomorrow's highs looking like a nice day again. Farmington getting up to 58 and Gallup at 62. Truth or Consequences at 69 and Silver City at 67. Portales is staying at a nice 69 with Clovis at 67 and Roswell at 72, Ruidoso at 62. For our 7-day forecast, we're looking at having cloudy skies in Roswell for the most part, going in through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in the 70s, dropping down to the 60s next week, with solid 40s and 50s for our lows, with the lowest at 40 on Monday night. Carlsbad also having some cloudiness, but a little bit of rain coming on Saturday at 79 degrees, and Monday being a windy one. They're getting up to 80 on Friday, and for the rest of the week, it'll look at 70s and 60s, dropping into the 40s, and also on Monday night, 40 degrees. Tucumcari, they are also getting rain. However, that will be on Saturday and Monday, with Friday and Sunday being cloudy. They'll be experiencing some AM showers on both of those rainy days, staying in the 60s and 70s, dropping down to the 50s on Monday and Tuesday. 39 and 34 being their lowest for these weeks. And finally, Portales, also expecting some rain on Saturday and cloudiness going into Sunday and Monday in the 70s, and finally dropping down to the 50s and 60s next week, staying in the 40s and 50s, getting down to 41 Thursday night.
You know, the best part about this cold weather for me is I get to wear more jackets.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
me
get
too,
it.
and long sleeve shirts.
The layering is the best part, getting to stay warm and cozy while it's nice and chilly outside.
You love a good hoodie.
Gotta
Yep.
love it.
And we'll have more news right back after this break. Welcome back to News for New Mexico. If you're looking to add a stop to your Halloween festivities, you can join Curry County for their Trunk or Treat event this Halloween from 4 to 5 p.m. The event takes place in the Curry County Administration Complex and provides a safe area for kids to collect some candy before hitting their neighborhoods later that evening. For more information, you can visit the Curry County Facebook page.
KENW, the station that runs programs like News 3 New Mexico and many others, celebrated its 50-year anniversary this past Saturday, October 26th.
The celebration included big changes for the broadcast center, and I got to take a look into these changes and festivities. KENW celebrated its 50th anniversary recently, and with the anniversary came a new change to its broadcast center.
In general, honorific namings are rare at ENMU, and it is the highest honor the system can bestow upon an individual.
That individual is the founding director of KENW, Dwayne W. Ryan.
Mr. Ryan spent 55 years as the director of broadcasting at ENMU. It was a dream to bring PBS and NPR to ENMU and our region to enrich the lives of citizens of this area. From this day forward, the name Dwayne W. Ryan will remain synonymous with KENW, as well it should be.
Friends, family, colleagues, and community members joined together for the anniversary and to celebrate Dwayne's legacy and work for the community.
This is just, it sums it up for me. It says, do all things with love, passion, and dedication. And to me, that sums up who Dwayne was, because everything he did with love, with passion, dedication, and commitment to the betterment of our students, our campus, our staff, and our communities.
For News 3 New Mexico, I'm Jonathan Casey. The Broadcast Center here at KENW has afforded opportunities for students to run all kinds of programs and get real hands-on experience working in the field.
Dwayne W. Ryan was a huge part of that effort, and now his legacy will persist to inspire even more students and future generations here at Eastern New Mexico and West Texas. Yesterday, the Bratalis Fire Department had a blessing for their new baby box at the fire station. A Safe Haven baby box offers an option for mothers who are unable to care for their newborns and are designed to do a safe and anonymous surrender of the infants for parents in need that can't afford to take care of their child. They are a lifeline for mothers and safe beginnings for their newborns. The Bratalis Fire Department is the newest addition to this line of work and is available if you need to take that option. Coming up after the break, Hannah will have her full sports report for you, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Hannah Knight. Let's take a dive into the sports world. With the arrival of November, several sports seasons are coming to an end at ENMU. The women's volleyball team played against St. Mary's on Friday and St. Edward's on Saturday, claiming one 3-2 victory at their home stadium. The Greyhounds lost 2-3 against St. Mary's, but set several team bests for the season, serving up 10 aces and succeeding with 6 total solo blocks. The women's volleyball team will play their next home game this Saturday against Sul Ross State. Their final game will be a home game against Midwestern State on November 16th. The football team will play their final home game against UT Permian Basin on November 9th at noon. This season has been difficult for the Greyhounds, especially with the painful loss of the wagon wheel to West Texas A&M. But their recent 41-34 win against Western New Mexico University gives hope that the Greyhounds can take home another victory. Overall, the Greyhounds have taken home 3 victories and lost 5 games this season. The last game against WNMU, where Greyhounds scored touchdowns on their first 3 drives in the first quarter, showed off the offensive power they've been building up over the season. The men's and women's soccer teams at ENMU are also playing their last games for the season. The men's soccer team's game against Sul Ross State last Saturday ended in a draw, with Milo Posse repelling 4 shots in the final 3 minutes and preserving the 0-0 draw. Their overall score for the season is 4 wins, 4 losses, and 6 ties, with 3 games coming up and their last home game to be played this Saturday at 6 p.m. against Midwestern State. The women's soccer team has had a difficult season with an overall score of 2 wins, 11 losses, and 1 tie. Kylie Druitt scored 1 point for the Greyhounds during their match yesterday against Oklahoma Christian with an assist by Meredith Brown. While the Lady Greyhounds didn't take home a victory, they did take home a few new career bests, and with any luck, they might take a home victory during their match against Texas A&M at 1 p.m. this Friday in Portales. On the national scale, the highlight of this week was the matchup between the Giants and the Steelers this Monday. The Steelers took a victory 26-18, fighting neck-to-neck with the Giants up until the 3rd quarter when Calvin Austin caught a punt from 73 yards and the Steelers pushed their score up to 16 over the Giants' 9. With less than a minute left in the 4th quarter, the Steelers put an end to any hope of a Giants win when Beanie Bishop Jr. intercepted Daniel Jones. This matchup left the Giants with a season score of 2 wins and 6 losses, and the Steelers with a record of 6 wins and 2 losses. Next week, you can watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers face off against the Kansas City Chiefs at 8 p.m. on ESPN. That's all the sports I have for you right now. We'll be right back after the break with more news.
Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are trying to reach as many voters as possible 1 week from the election day. Harris is delivering the final major address of her campaign this evening at Ellipse.
A park just outside the law of the White House
Kamala Harris
rallied his supporters
to remind voters of what happened here 4 years ago, as she makes the case that her opponent is unfit to serve another term. Now, her team is hoping to use this venue to convey a sense of gravity about the choice before voters while she makes her final pitch. Vice President Harris will deliver closing remarks at the Ellipse, a park that's within view of the White House. It's also where former President Donald Trump rallied his supporters on January 6, 2021. Following those remarks, there was a violent riot at the Capitol.
I do believe that Donald Trump is unstable, increasingly unstable, and unfit to serve.
Harris's advisors say the speech will not exclusively focus on the events that unfolded at the site nearly 4 years ago. She's also expected to discuss the top issues, including the economy, as she makes her final pitch to voters.
Policies that are about home ownership, lifting up our small businesses, lifting up families with children, and lifting up the discourse in a way that it is not about trashing people all the time.
Trump delivered a preemptive response from Mar-a-Lago this afternoon, unleashing a series of familiar attacks against Harris and slamming her immigration policy.
I'm running on a plan to save America. We're going to save America. We have no choice. It's the greatest there is. We love it, and we're going to save it. We have no choice.
Trump also mentioned his rally at Madison Square Garden over the weekend that featured several controversial comments from speakers, including a comedian who called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. The former president referred to the event as a, quote, love fest. Now, in addition to drawing...
The election is less than a week away, with all the votes being counted on November 5th, and there is still time to cast your ballot before Election Day with early voting.
For your voice to be heard and your impact made on national, statewide, and local futures, it is important to cast the ballot and more And for more information, you can visit www.rockthevote.org.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. So we'll see you guys on Friday.